All right. Good morning, all you snowboarders of the internet that actually woke up to turn into a live stream and aren't fighting the masses at Walmart for flat screen TVs that are overproduced and whatnot. Anyways, you guys know that this has been like a top 5 week for all of you, so you've all gotten multiple top fives. So hopefully you guys have learned a little something from that or whatnot. Yeah, so there's that. But I know that this is like the busiest weekend for buying snowboard gear, so let's answer some fucking questions and see where we can go from here. Also, for anyone that's tuning in, wondering when we're gonna sell these hoodies or those coaches jackets, it'll go up sometime this afternoon for everyone. It's a really limited run. I think there's like 12 coaches jackets and 22 sweatshirts. So yeah. Let's see what we got here. Bottom Cork. Big Bear got so much snow, all roads are closed except one, and it is sketchy as hell and will take a 1.5 hour drive to 4. Oh, yeah. Big Bear. Big Bear got hammered and people are going to die. It's going to be amazing. Did anyone else see how much snow fucking Utah got? Snow Basin had to duct tape on another ruler to their snow stake just so that it would, so that he keep measuring it. They're having the storm of the century out there. Yeah. So does anyone have any questions or want to talk about some gear or anything? Put it over there in the chat box. I'd really like to start answering some questions. Otherwise, there's 2 more top 5s coming today. It's going to be a little bit more personal top 5 for men and women. It's stuff that I'd personally recommend for you guys. That'll be coming out. Also, next week, you'll see the review of the Capita Super DOA back there coming out, the Rome Agent, the Rome Warden, Nidecker Concept, Burton Custom Flying V, Burton Hometown Hero, and I think there's one other one in there as well, plus all the binding reviews. So, yeah. I got a super chat from Elvin Son. No questions. Keep up the good work. Thanks, bud. Appreciate that. Hopefully you do have a question at some point. I'd love to answer that. So, yeah. But, yeah, binding reviews next week along with board reviews, plus there's the 20 questions podcast will be dropping. Also, December 18th to the 28th, I'll be taking a personal break. So will Kevin. So there won't be shit going on for that. Let's see. Bottle and Cork Grand Minimum Solar Event. We have 50 years of insane storming like this ahead of us. I'll fucking take 50 years of insane snowboarding storms. Although we really don't have anything going on in Colorado. There's a storm coming over the mountain over there. I can see it. But it's not really doing anything great. But yeah. Lee Linsky, thanks for including some women's board. Well, I'm trying. We're trying to get an actual women's tester on to do women's reviews. So hopefully in the future we'll get that. I'm just trying to find the right person, and we'll promote that because that segment's so underrepresented. And I know a lot of people have been like questioning how we're coming up with the women's top 5. So I'll just break it down for everyone. So it's like a multiple list of things. So it's me going to about 3 to 4 different shops around here because Colorado sells more snowboard gear than anyone, seeing what's moving off the shelf, like checking in, just doing product counts to see what's moving, talking to the shop people, talking to the shop girls, talking to girls that work at other shops that I know, talking to guys that I know, and then going to a demo for 2 days and watching what was going out from all the reps because you can kind of gauge where the interest is and what people are pushing and whatnot. So, yeah, that's kind of how we did the women's top 5s for everyone that's got any questions about that. JD asks, you sold me on the simulator. I'm 5'8", 175 pounds, 9.5 boot. Which size would be best? What is it? Is it 50? It's 52, 54, 56, or is it 56, 53, 50? You want the 54, I think, or 53, whatever that is. So, yeah. Let's see. Paul Falconbridge, are you doing a late night version with Storytime? Great to catch you live in the afternoon here in the UK. Yes, there's going to be 2 more live streams today. There will be one at 3:30 Mountain Standard Time, and then there will be one at 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That'll be the Angry Late Night. We'll talk about some stories and whatnot. might talk about how I just went to Denver and the only plow I saw had almost flipped over and there's 2 feet down the road and I was scaring yuppies by driving on the sidewalk. So yeah. Let's see. Dr. Dumo 2, have you ever been in Europe for riding? No, it's on the short list for like 2 years out, give or take. It's there. I want to do it. Just haven't done it. So also, is the connection doing okay? I got new internet and I hardwired it in this time, so hopefully it doesn't cut out like in previous live streams. So I'm hoping that'll answer that. Bottled and Cork, do you have your California schedule set yet? Bring your slush slasher or your party wave. I'll buy one too in that case. No, California schedule isn't set. I'm not even sure what the West Coast agenda is. I'll know more come January, probably. It'll be a February thing. So, yeah. Let's see. Antonios, oh God, that is a Greek last name. Solidus. Best all-time board of yours. Greetings from Greece. So, actually, hang on. I'm going to show you guys my favorite all-time board. So this is the old K2 jib pan. We call it the shark bite because I cut the tail out on this thing. But this was my favorite board forever until I blew the hybrid taper on the tail. I blew it completely out, so that's why I cut the tail out like that. And that's become like my preseason, like dork around scare kids board. Or if I go to Woodward at Copper in the summer, I'll ride that for a day, just because it's fucking hilarious to ride. But yeah, so yeah, let's see. Let's see. What else we got going on here? Oh, let's see. Dip 4K connection is wicked. Off to Chamonix in February and St. Anton in March. Fuck yeah, man. Go shred the French Alps. Right? That's the Alps. I think it is. I don't know. Let's see what else we got going on here. Oh, let's see. Whatever is, I'm interested in the Rome National. Is 149 the right size? I'm 132 pounds, 5'5". Depends on your boot. Like, I'm assuming because you're a smaller guy that you probably have a smaller foot, like a 9 or lower, that should fit on there, and you could ride that. You could even, I think what's the next size? 52 or 51. You could even bump up to that if you wanted more stability. So there. Ooh, this is a horrible question. Insularity 1. If you got stuck on the East Coast for the rest of your life and you had to pick one place to ride, what would it be? I'm going with Ober-Gatlinburg, Tennessee. They have a tram to 3 runs. And it's Tennessee. So, you know, they're kind of rednecks down there. And they're probably really, really awful people, but the food is good. And I could go watch music in Nashville. So it'd probably be the only way I could cope with it before I kill myself, because anywhere else I'd probably just get addicted to opioids. So yeah. Let's see. My fucking arm hurts. Stuck between the Super DOA, Huck Knife Pro, Assassin Pro. Okay. So I think people have a misconception about the Super DOA back there, because I've had a few people hit me up since I rode it yesterday that were like, is this thing just like a beefed up DOA it's a park board? That thing is about as far from a park board. It's a twin, don't get me wrong, and it can handle the park, but it does not ride like a DOA. It does not ride like anything else from Capita. If anything, it reminded me of riding something between a Jones Ultra Aviator and an Aviator, maybe mixed with the Ultra Mountain Twin in there. That thing is fucking burly. Compared to a Huck Knife Pro or an Assassin Pro, they're not even on the same level. Like the regular DOA would be closer to the Huck Knife Pro and Assassin Pro. So if you're thinking Super DOA, like, unless you're really big and heavy, a really, really aggressive rider, or you're hitting like 60-foot jumps plus, that's probably not the board you need to be looking at. If anything, I'd say ask yourself if you want more camber dominance or more play out in the tips for powder dominance. Like, that would be the difference between the Huck Knife Pro and the Assassin Pro. So, yeah. Let's see what else we got going on here. Well, I think I kind of just answered that question with riding the Super DOA. The review of that should drop next next week sometime. I've got to film the actual review today. I wrote it up, and it's scheduled for anyone on Angry Snowboarder VIP. You'll get that review tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning. Oh, Bottle and Cork, to invest in orange juice futures. I only invest in pork bellies after the holidays. No one's catching our trading places references on that. So let's see. Dr. Dumo 2. Come to Italy, nice mountains, pretty girls, best food. I'm pretty sure I could find some guy who would guest you for free. Not me. I live in the South. Actually, Italy has always been one place I wanted to go check out. Growing up in New York, there was a bunch of guys from one of the resorts near me. When they started getting sponsored and shit, they pulled the exact opposite of what most people do, where they just move west and then progress as regional riders. They just fucking went like right to Italy and started riding for Nitro, and they were there for years. And then one of them died, and then they kind of just like split up. But yeah, so Italy terrain looks fucking sick when it actually has snow. Let's see. Smash the like button, snowboarders of the internet. Yeah, people do whatever you want. I'm just here to answer your questions and entertain you. Let's see what else we got going on here. Ooh, love this. Obviously, the best all-time board is the Captain Mercury. Are you new to the channel? No, the Mercury is a great board, but it's not my all-time favorite. Like, there's a few boards out there that I would rather have. Honestly, would really like a first or second year atomic hatchet, mainly just so I could trace it and figure out and then rip it apart and then take it to a factory and be like, build me this. So yeah. Kendall Chambers with the super chat. What would you recommend? Tellus /158 or Wired Vantage 162 for a rider intermediate level, 6 foot, 260 Taos, New Mexico, main mountain. Oh, I would say that the Tellus / would be a little more forgiving. Plus, you're going to get a little more girth underfoot than the Wired Vantage, which the Wired Vantage is a sick board. Don't get me wrong. I love that thing. But the / in the 58, like for your size, that board is designed specifically for someone like you. And Taos with that lighter snow that comes in, even though because it's like the tail end of the Rockies and stuff like that, when you guys get hammered, I think that would be a great board for down there. Plus, if you go into like one of those dry spells where it just turns into like firm, crunchy corduroy, you would be able to rip a groomer. I'm going to try to get down to Taos in the next, well, probably not the next few weeks, but probably like the first week of January. So, yeah. Mark Legas, what are your thoughts on the Now Bindings Skate Tech? I like it. It makes sense to me because, you know, you're mounted to that triangle pivot, so you've got this pivot point. So when you go to drive into your toes, your heels are pulling up and it's pushing more downward pressure. And then when you go to your heels, it's pulling the toe back up and putting more pressure on the heel. It makes total sense to me because it's just reapplying pressure in a different manner. Like the first time I ever rode it was a sample set. I mean, they were so new, and the power off your toes, like throwing a backside 180, was phenomenal. And every time I get on it, I notice how much power they actually have. It's a different ride for sure, and I've had people tell me that they don't like it. The one thing that I don't like about now is their toe straps are kind of whack. And what Kevin and I discovered is if you pull them off and then flip them and swap them to the other sides, they grip better. It's really weird. So, yeah. Now, let's see what else we got going on here. My fucking arm hurts. You ride the spring bed in the Burton bindings. The old Diodes has it. Now the Genesis do. I didn't ride the new Genesis. I haven't ridden it in like 2 years. I think Kevin got on it. But we don't have a review of it coming out because I don't think he really rode it that long that we could actually review it. It's been a while since I've been on the spring bed on there. For the most part, with like Burton stuff, like their footbeds, I never noticed, even though they claim they like have a canted footbed. I never even noticed that because the foam is so soft, it just compresses more. So, yeah, let's see. What else is going on? Jason, Nick, 85. Not sure if you've already answered, but when do you drop the binding reviews? Best binding tech you've ridden? The binding reviews are kind of rolling out slowly. I'm a little bit behind on getting some of the stuff done on that. Tomorrow is going to be a marathon editing day because I'm going to try to crank out like 10. I've got probably 4 or 5 already uploaded that I haven't put up. Just been tied up with doing these top 5s for this week, as well as getting a podcast, writing a bunch of stuff. Plus, for a while there, I was still working my old job days, so I was tied up with that. Plus, I ended up dog sitting for 4 weeks straight. So it was like one dog into a set of other dogs, and the second set of dogs, one of them decided to attack me. So I got mauled by a fucking chihuahua. Pretty sure I gave that thing a concussion trying to get it off my hand because it clamped down super hard. So I've just been like tied up with a whole shitload of stuff, but it's stuff I'm trying to get it all done before the 18th of next month, because starting on the 18th to the 28th, I'll be in the old country, and I'm going to be taking a break from everything. But they're rolling out slowly. I'll probably, just to speed things up, I'll probably drop like 2 tomorrow. It'll probably be Kevin's review of the Logic and Transfer from Bent Metal, because I've got those done. Otherwise, I think I got a Flow review from him, and I got some K2 stuff that I got to get done and whatnot. But yeah, we're going to try to go from there. Let's see what else we got going on. Let's see. S2000 guy, what binding companies keep a size boot 11 in the middle of the range? I'm a size 11. I'm either maxed out medium Burton binding or a size down a large Burton binding. It comes down to what boot you have too, I've realized, with Burtons. Your better bet, if you're having issues like that, is to go to a 2-piece construction. So like something like a Ride or a Roam, something where you can adjust that heel cup in there. That would put you in 11, would put you in the large XL from Roam, and I think the same for Ride. Does anyone even ride Drakes anymore? I don't even want to recommend them. But if you're doing like the unibody stuff, the full solid piece construction, I think your best bet is to always go with the large size on there, unless you got like some weird volume shifted boot or whatnot. Let's see. Todd Williams, Husky snowboard jacket recommendations. Something that's wider. I think you're looking at Air Blaster. Certain lines from Burton, like the AK line, tends to be a little bit wider. Volcom, you got to rule that out because they run narrow. Ride has some stuff as well. Trying to think what else. L1 you can't do. Holden you can't do. They'll just be too tight. What else is out there? Trying to think. Whatever you do, though, don't buy any of that Vertica bullshit. They try to tell you it's marketed to snowboarders. It's Fisher Price fucking outerwear. That shit's straight fucking garbage. But it's bigger, but it's fucking garbage. You'd be better off wearing a goddamn trash bag with a hoodie underneath. All right, let's see. Jaka Orahek. Hey, Angry, I'm looking for a new freestyle board jumps because I have Burton bindings, and I'm looking at Burton boards. 175 pounds, 10.5 US boots, custom 154, 56, custom twin, or Paramount 55. I don't think you could go wrong with the custom twin or the Paramount. Custom twin camber. Make sure it's the camber, not that Flying V bullshit. Oh my god, I rode Flying V the other day. I thought I was going to die. I don't remember it having that much reverse camber. But yeah, if you're going with the custom twin camber, the Paramount, I think either of those, or you could even do the process. Was it the off-axis one? I think, but unless you want something, but those would be like 3. But since you're limited with Burton bindings, so that limit, I'm assuming you got the ICS on there. You could also check out Signal and Endeavor. They both use the channel as well. So like a board of directors, or maybe even like not the Clout. What's the other one there? Shit, I can't think of a right now, but Endeavor has one. But Signal, you could just double check that it's got the channel on there, because some of them still have inserts, but there are boards from Signal that have the channel as well. So yeah. Shardbot. I ride blues with confidence and like to pretend to surf on groomers. K287 an okay choice, even though I'm fat. If you're really worried about being over the weight range on the 87, you might like the Simple Pleasures a little bit more. It's a little bit stiffer, and it does steer off that back foot with the camber. You can do a lot of undercut carves and turns with it. So if those are your two. Otherwise, the 87 is a super surfy board, and it is volume shifted. I mean, just try to find something that would, like, you're either in the middle of the weight range, or understand that if you're at the top of the weight range for the size you get, it's just going to be softer and even more surfy, and you may overpower it. Benjamin Gov. Bought a 55 Marhar Lumberjack because you haven't been on it yet this year, but excited. Dude, that board's fun. I actually just got my Lumberjack back that survived a house explosion. Literally, it's one of two things that completely survived a house explosion. There's glass embedded in the base of it. But, I mean, with a quick tune, I could ride it if I wanted to. So those things are literally bomb-proof. Like, they will survive a house exploding. Let's see what else we got here. Liam Hussey, what's your opinion on Lib's C2 profile? It depends on the board. Some of it makes sense, like... And then you got C2E and C2X. So you got like the three C2s. So it depends on the board. Some of them it works really well, and some of them it's like, it's okay. I mean, it makes sense. Like if you're a progressing rider and let's say you started on a flat or a reverse camber, and camber's probably too domineering or C3 is too domineering, going to a C2 profile makes sense. It's for someone that's a little bit more of a laid-back rider. You're not going to charge as aggressively hard on it. It's going to be more playful between the feet, but you still have those independent camber zones, so you can load it up. I know that I did an explained video on different camber profiles, so if you really want to see what I had to say about that, you could always check out the explained playlist. That would kind of answer more than that. Okay. Heggy Hoffler. Hi, Angry. I'm 45, riding mainly groomers and pie. I like spins and jumping from side hits, rollers, and small to medium park jumps. Can you recommend an all-mountain board that's also okay for icy mornings? Jones Mountain Twin. Right there. Hands down, you're going to get that magna traction, which is going to give you a little more grip underfoot. You're going to get that stability of camber as well, so you can drive it, but you're going to have rocker out in the tip and the tail to play around, which will help you if you under-rotate your spins. I mean, that would hands down be a great board for icy mornings and for what you're looking for. Oh, let's see. Kyle K, what is your opinion on the 2019 Signal? Yup. It hasn't changed since the last time I rode it. That board is phenomenal. It's the spiritual successor to the Burton Branch Manager, in my opinion, because it was designed by Billy Anderson. Billy Anderson designed the Branch Manager when he was at Burton. Love that board. Super phenomenal. You can really drive off the tail. It floats well in POW. You can still butter if you need to. It reminds me kind of a lot of the Nitro Dropout as well, which is another board that I really love. So, yeah. Let's see. Ryan Cohn. Hey, Avron. I have a great free ride board and a great powder board. I'm a lightweight. 148 pounds, 5'8", and want a board I can butter and jib with that can still get around the mountain. Flexy, but holds an edge. So you want, check out the LibTech. Let's see. The LibTech box knife. I think that's going to fit the bill for what you're looking for. You're going to have that C3 camber profile, so you're going to have some drive and snap, but the tips will be buttery on it, plus they're blunted out, so you can really get up on it, and you're going to have magma traction. Otherwise, the next contender that I could think of with good edge hold would be maybe going for something like the GNU Finest as well. It's C2 profile, so it's going to be a little more buttery, but you got that magna traction on there. Plus it's ASIM, so you can really lay a heel side carve over if you wanted to. But I think those ones would be it. All right. J58. Hey, Angry, K2 Joy Driver sounds like a match for me. I'm a stronger, strength-wise rider looking for a stiff board to push around. Weekend warrior. Is it as bad as your review makes us? It's not bad. It's fucking aggressive. Like, that board is fucking aggressive. I mean, if you understand going in, you got to load that camber profile for everything, and that board will rebound and fight you the whole way. I think you'll be fine on it. I'm more of like a manifest guy or a broadcast, but I think if you go into it knowing what you're going to get out of it, you'll be fine. It's not that I hate the board. It's just it's fucking aggressive. It's like almost too aggressive for most people, in my opinion. Oh shit, the storm's here. Sweet. I can see the mountain over there. And the storm is finally rolling over. It was supposed to hit last night, and it hasn't. The storm's been sitting over Utah, and they've gotten feet. Super chat from Jason. I haven't ridden Skate Tech, but I like that it's supposed to feel like skate trucks. My only concern is stability. Do they give you less play when landing jumps? Do you have to land bolts? No. You're talking about such a minimal amount of play in there. What you're going to notice is, if anything, if you don't land bolts and you're a little more toe heavy, you're going to just have more power driven down into the edge. So it's going to grip a little bit quicker. I think probably about like the third time you've gone through a jump line, hit like 3 to 5 jumps every lap, you'll know exactly like where the limitations and whatnot are with that. But it's a super solid technology. So I think you'll be good with that. Next question comes from Michael Kulig. Avran, thanks for recommending the Stratas to pair with my Slush Slasher. Surfy, yet still responsive edge to edge, especially with them putting the Falcor's Forma Elite straps on it for 22. Dude, no problem, man. I think you got a good combination right there with that Stratas Slush Slasher. So go fucking lay out some turns. Oh, let's see what we got here. I think I missed one up here. Benjamin Gov, I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, go to Steamboat and usually one other West trip. What would you recommend on Icon? I've been to Crystal Mountain, Copper, Jackson Hole. Go to Utah. Make sure you stay up in the canyon at Solitude, and that way you get Solitude and Brighton right there. And then if you really wanted to and go stand in the giant-ass tram line at Snowbird, you could. But every snowboarder should ride Brighton at least once in their life. That is probably the most quintessential snowboarder mountain on the West Coast, and especially if you can catch it on a powder day and you're already up in the canyon, because if you're staying in Salt Lake and coming up, that canyon's a shit show. So just try to stay up at like Solitude Lodge or whatever it is right across the street from there. But Brighton and Solitude, I think that's where I would go with that, especially if you've already been to Jackson, Copper, Crystal. The only other thing would be Mammoth if they get hammered, or Squaw Alpine, which right now Squaw's getting, what they get 5 feet with another 4 on the way. So, I mean, if you can get up there, yes. But my take would be go to Utah for sure. Plus, if you're out there, spend the time to drive up north and go to Powder Mountain. It'll fucking blow your mind. And do a cat lap, because it's $25 a cat lap up there. Let's see what else we got here. Disbetang. Hey, Angry, what's your opinion on the Never Summer Prototype 2 for a daily rider? Mainly cruising the whole mountain and carving. The board sucks. So the way that camber profile sits on the Prototype 2, right with the Vario, it puts the contact point inside the insert packs. It's super twitchy and hooky in between the feet, so it's really not that great of a carving board unless you're like just not an aggressive rider and you're laid back and you're putting more weight on your back foot. It's just fucking the Never Summer marketing team just over there. This is what you need. Fucking look at us. We're turning on fucking ice over here in an ice rink. We got towed in and did a toe side turn on it. This shit'll grip on anything. Let's see you transition that motherfucker to a heel edge. Anyone can do a toe side turn on an ice rink ice. It's not a good board at all. I mean, if you're looking for something for mainly cruising and doing mountain carving, check out like the Jones flagship. Let's see what else is out there. If you wanted something with like that C2 profile, like a LibTech Travis Rice, in my opinion, is actually better, and I don't even really like that board all that much. You could do the Jones Aviator. You could actually check out like the Y from Yes as well. That is a great cruising and carving board right there with a softer flex on it, but the prototype too. That board sucks dicks with its butthole. Bellencourt, $2 super chat. Got to go. Hold an extra large jacket for Lewis, Billy Ray. Well, I don't know when just so everyone knows, we are doing a limited run merchandise sale with these hoodies and coaches jackets. There's 12 coaches jackets, 6 in the maroon and white, 6 in the black and red, and then there's like I think 22 or 23 of these hoodies, black and gray, and then maroon, or they call it cardinal red and gray. Those will be going up sometime this afternoon. I just got them in the other day. I've got to shoot the photos of them. I haven't had time and get them up on the store, but I'm going to try to have them up right around the time we do the afternoon live stream, which is 3:30 today. So for anyone that's looking for merchandise, and you can buy that on angrysnowboarderstore.com. Also, we got plenty of stickers over there. There's like mystery sticker envelopes. We're selling. These are back in stock. The snowboarding culture is not dead stickers. So yeah. Let's see what else we got going there. EMTB days. Hey, Angry, is there any footage of you snowboarding in existence? Oh, it's out there. And there's going to be more coming soon. I'm waiting for the resort to fill in up here, but Brucey, my old intern, and I, we're talking about doing kind of an old man project where all we do is just ride trees and destroy them. I mean, literally destroy them. Like, Bruce will jump from the top of a steep run and land on a tree and break it. It's the most amazing thing. And usually I just encourage him to do it, and then I jib it when it falls over. So we're working on some projects for that. And then I want to do some basin hot laps. And I've got another video project tentatively. If funding comes through, that'll be happening. Plus, we'll be doing a bunch of meet and greets starting maybe next month. The end of next month, I'm not sure. I got to look at some dates and stuff, so there'll be some there. Yeah, let's see. Goofy Rider Shop. What happened to the Rome Mod Rocker? Rome discontinued it. They had too much overlap in their line, and they had to cut SKUs so that they could add more twin park boards that overlap other boards, and so they got rid of it. They're like, well, we have the Mod Camber, and that sells, and Stale's riding it, and so they're pushing it. Yeah, so let's see. Let's see what else we got going on here. Greg Hansen, do you still feel like the Burton step-on is a poor choice for advanced chargers? I put a couple days on mine, no complaints yet. The flex field's way too aggressive for park riding. Depends which boot you got. They've added more boots, but the step-on, I don't think it's going to be here. I think we've got like a 3 to 5 year window of it, and I don't think it's going to be here for the long term in there. I still don't think it has the response that it should. The fact that when I was riding, I could see that toe cleat just like popping and buckling. It didn't, but I do know that like K2 is literally bringing back the clicker system next year. I saw them testing the 2021s 2 weeks ago up in Copper. So everyone's on the step-in train, and history has a magical way of repeating itself in snowboarding, and so we'll see how that pans out. Let's see. Kyle K. Hey, I'm a competitive rider in the USASA and I ride everything. I've almost grown out of my current boot, and I'm wondering if you have any boot recommendations. I'm 15 and have a size 11 feet. The best boot is the boot that fits your foot and fits your needs. You got to go out, try on as many boots as you can. Make sure there's no hot spots, no pressure points or anything. You want to make sure that when you're standing straight up in the boot with it tied up, your big toe is touching the end like this. When you flex at the ankle and put your knee over the toe, it pulls back just a hair off the end. A little bit of wiggle room is okay. A lot of wiggle room isn't. If your foot slides forward and backwards, it's bad. I know you're 15 and you think you're going to grow. Like, trust me, you're probably not. And if you do grow, it's not going to be aggressive. And you could probably just put a heel wedge under your footbed that'll pull your heel up and pull your toe slightly off the back of it. And if you have any other questions about boots or stuff and like customization, we have the Boot Fitting 101 playlist. Go through, watch that. A lot of little tricks and tips to get a better boot fit. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let's see. My fucking arm hurts. Are you still the angry snowboarder because you answer so many questions? Change the name to the helpful snowboarder. If you ever troll the questions that I answer on the videos, you can clearly see that I'm still angry and I'm constantly face palming at society and wondering when these people will die because they're too dumb for their own good. But I try to be as helpful as I possibly can because snowboarding needs this right now, like what we're doing here in this community. This is going to be like the next generational upswing in way snowboarding is, because snowboard media as a whole is fucking dying, or traditional media I should say is dying, because they haven't figured out how to embrace their audience and build it from around there. So yeah. Chip Shop Chris, what do you think is the coolest, funniest board sticker you've ever seen or owned? So my favorite, this is my favorite, and it has nothing, literally nothing to do with snowboarding, is there was a girl named Danica that ran a channel on YouTube called Comic Book Girl 19, and she had a show called the Comic Book Girl 19 Show, and she did a bunch of stuff, and one of her co-hosts was a dude in a cardboard robot suit just called Robot, and he was politically incorrect, misogynistic, and just fucking out there. And it's the funniest shit in the world. But she did a book club called Watchmen Club, and where every week she would stream, like, you'd read like 2 or 3 chapters out of the Watchmen graphic novel by Alan Moore. And so when you joined the group, you got a standard industry print reprint Watchmen graphic novel, the full condensed omnibus. I got that, but you got a sticker sheet, and it had to do with her show and whatnot. And the favorite one was it was Robot as the comedian, and it is my favorite sticker. I've never put it on a board, but I've been like waiting for the right board to put it on. It just, every time I look at it, I just like start laughing so much, because I'm like, this guy is so fucking hilarious, like the way it was written and everything. And her old stuff is absolutely fucking hilarious to watch, but she's not really doing much except posing nude on Patreon and shit right now, which sucks, because like as an entertainer, she was fucking phenomenal. And like her show with Robot, which I discovered it when I had a concussion, it was like one of the few things that got me through that. But yeah, that was probably my favorite. So let's see what we got here. All right, $20 super chat from Narcier Icky. I see. Tomorrow our resort's open, so I'll try for the first time one of the boards we talked about. So have a beer. Cheers. I'll let you know. Yeah, dude, let me know. Let's see what do we got going on here. Kurt Trotch, Burton Custom, Nitro Team, Super Team / ATV, Nitro Beast. They're all kind of different boards, but kind of similar, except the Super Team and the Slash. Slash sucks. I need to ride some of the stuff since they changed factories, but I've never been impressed with Slash. Let's see. But I mean, the custom's tried and true. The team depends on the camera profile, because they do have that wonky gull wing in there, which it looks like a bird about to take flight when you look at it from the side, because it's like, it's just like, caw, caw. I think if you're talking like cambered board, I'd probably, tried and true would be the custom, but the Beast I hear good things about. So let's see. Michael Kulig, Averin, who do you get your 3M foam from? Need to build some tungstens. Tonar.com. So TOGNAR.com. I think you can get a sheet for like $10 or $15, something like that. Or when in doubt, I just shoot down to the local shop here across the street from my house, roll in with a 6-pack and be like, hey, I need some stuff. And they just trade it to me. So let's see. Al Odd, where's the best website to purchase the Capita Mercury? Evo and the House have matched pricing. However, if there's a local shop to support with the same or better pricing, I would be game. Well, I don't know where you live to tell you if there's a local shop that would do it. But if you're going to buy online, I always tell people go through Evo. I just feel like they have better customer service. They ship better. And you can just click the link right through the review if you need to, or the buy it now widget on the website or whatever. I'll get a commission from that. So you would be supporting us. So you could always just argue that you're supporting like snowboarding culture by doing that as well. Let's see. Kevin Ma, do you have any tips or general guidelines to follow for snowboard sizing if a weight range is not listed? Anything I can infer from the specs? I want to pick up a DWD rad. I'm 5'7", 180 pounds. Yeah, so like the way I always look at it is like you're looking at a jib stick, so it's okay to go a little bit smaller on that. At 180 pounds, I'd probably put you on the 53. I feel like that would be the max of the weight range on the 53, or upper tier of the max of it, but that's the size I would ride. I got about 20 pounds on you, but it's a jib stick and you can throw it around. Generally what I do is you can kind of gather from like other brands and stuff. So like Dinosaurs Will Die was made at Capita. So if you like go look at a Capita similar jib board, like a Horoscope or something, and see what their weight ranges are, you can kind of correlate that it'll carry over to the DWD as well. So yeah. Let's see. Chris Kakolas, what's the weirdest country you've boarded in? Idaho. It's its own separate fucking world up there. It's its own separate fucking world. My fucking arm hurts. When will you do a series of why the good ride blows? They struck again. Specs were wrong. Yeah, so I'm working on a top 25 reasons the good ride is bad, and I'm just downloading different clips from videos so I can just cut it in and just be like, look at this. Like, someone sent me a bunch of stuff that James said on asymmetrical boards. He's in the middle of the review, and he realizes he set the asim up backwards. You have to have a heel side edge and a toe side edge on that. Like we've got a Can Kevin Carvit coming out with him riding the helix backwards, so the heel side is the toe side's the heel side. It's not a fun time, but yeah, that one. Or my favorite was the chick reviewing the new K2 party platter and talking how it was flat to rocker when you can clearly see its camber. So yeah. Sean Sheeling, the mannequin and Kevin have the same stash. Well, this is Kevin's dad. We had him taxidermied. Donald Edwards, 5'6", 155 pounds. What size orca should I get? 147 or 150? 47 if you want it more playful, surfy, especially in the trees. 150 if you need a little bit more stability. Now, let's see what else we got going on here. Sebastian Gronkvist. Hey, 30 plus years on a snowboard, Swede. Tuning in for your live stream. I ride a Nitro Dropout 56. Awesome board. Nitro Kid in 73. Fun board. Backfoot heavy rider. Plus 27, plus 9. And looking for a board for party laps and jumps. Ooh. K2 party platter. I think that's going to be it. You're going to get that camber underfoot, so you're going to get that pop and snap. And I mean, you've been riding for 30 plus years, so you've always ridden camber, I assume, for the most part. So it's what you're used to. You're going to get that float of volume shift. I think you can't really go wrong with that for party lapping and hitting jumps. Let's see. Cale Mitchell, thoughts on Telluride and Crested Butte? Well, Telluride has Oprah and Tom Cruise. Celebrities. Crested Butte is very steep, doesn't get as much snow, but when it does, it's gnarly. Down there, it's that southwest Colorado thing. I've actually never ridden both of them. I've driven through there, but it's just like so far out of the way from where I am to ride. Plus, Vail owns them now, and I'm banned for life from Vail. So yeah. Hopefully there. Daniel Wong, hello. Thoughts on bindings for powder surfing, soft flexi, hit in the fields type? Thanks. So go look at the K2 was it the lineup or the lean AT? Because you got that heel block on the lean, at least I know you get that heel block, and you can tweak the flex pattern on that, so make it really surfy. Or you could go like a Union Contact Pro. I think it's the Contact Pro, is the one with the mini disc and a lot of surfy feel to it, as well as any of the Solomon bindings with the Shadow Fit technology. So you got that soft heel cup. That's going to make it really loose and playful. Those would be like the three that I would go with. I would probably lean a little bit more towards the Solomons, just that softer heel. It feels more like you're riding a skateboard, like you're really laying into a like swooping turn, and you can feel your ankles just pivot and roll a little bit more in the back. So yeah. Let's see. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing something. Let's see. And I just want to make sure that we all know this, and this comes from Michael Kulig, talking about James Beastie from The Good Ride, because that douche chugs Alfredo sauce. Literally, if you go watch some of his YouTube reviews, that guy is drinking Alfredo sauce while talking about snowboards. Like, he's eating spaghetti and Alfredo sauce. Like, just fucking chugging that shit. It looks like he's giving himself a bukkake bath. You deserve better than that. Like, I might be drinking my breakfast right here, but at least I'm not chugging goddamn Alfredo sauce. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, God. Kyler Newton, do you like the Jones hovercraft? It has its place. I like the Mind Expander more, just because of where I live. Like, if I lived back up in Washington, heavier, wetter snow with a little bit steeper terrain, that coastal snowpack, I'd probably ride the hovercraft over the Mind Expander. But hovercraft has its place. It's a little stiffer than I would like for a powder surfboard like that. But you can charge with it. I've had good days on it when I have ridden it. So, yeah. Let's see what we got going on here. Fox Freerider 90, I love your angry insults. What's your most creative one you came up with this year? I don't know. That shit just rolls off the tongue, and I completely forget that I've even said it about 2 minutes later. I don't know what my greatest hits are, but I know that I have really made some people seriously butthurt. Like right now, like that instructor from Vail or from Beaver Creek that was upset that I was charging groomers at 40 miles per hour around people, and he was on a Skate Banana. And the Skate Banana is a great board, according to him, because he had a good powder day at Silverton. Well, I'd hope you had a good powder day on a reverse cambered snowboard at Silverton. That's what reverse camber is really good at, powder. I don't know. The guy's a fucking instructor, and he rides a Skate Banana, which means he's probably hanging out on the fucking magic carpet picking up snot-nosed little shit fat skier kids he's not even allowed to strap in. I don't know. Let's see what else we got going on here. Daniel Shivo, spherical lenses versus flat, which is better? I'm not a fan of flat lenses because you do get a slight distortion. It doesn't match up with the spherical contour of your eyes. So if you actually, what I tell people to do is when you're looking at goggles, go outside if you're in the shop and just ask them if you can. And you go out and you hold them up to the sun and or to the sky and you look at it, grab them from the side and flex them a little bit like this, but not on your face. Like you want them away from your face and flex them. And look right in the dead center, because this is the spot most people never look in the goggles because your eyes are right here and not between your nose, and you're not cross-eyed, hopefully. Look at it, and you'll see right there if there's any distortion in the lens. Sphericals tend to have less distortion than a flat lens. Flat lens tend also to be stamped. They're a little bit lower quality. I'm not saying that all of them are that way because I do have some flat lenses like from Oakley and the Prism and stuff, and I don't notice the distortion. And even my spherical Dragons, there's one spot where there's distortion in them, but other than that, I'm a spherical guy probably 90% of the time. Marcus Heineck, what's your opinion on the Signal Womp Eater? If you've ridden it, and if not, do you plan on riding it? I haven't ridden it. Mark didn't from Signal didn't send Kevin one. He sent him a WoW. I I want to ride it. On paper, it looks really promising. I'm getting ready for the 2021 review kickoff. Like that should start in probably 60 days. Which is crazy to think that I'll be riding stuff. But Signal's on the list. I've got to shoot an email over to Mark Renega over there and be like, hey, send me shit. People are asking. Plus, you got that subscription service thing. So, yeah. Let's see what else we got going on here. My fucking arm hurts. Is there bourbon in that, OJ? This is just a really hazy IPA. I thought you knew that. No, actually, I can't drink. So, yeah. Let's see what else is going on. Frank 0020, Beastie doesn't seem like a bad dude. They didn't answer my email. Avern answers my questions right away. So, ironically, if you ever go look at, because they're really big with their Vimeo account over YouTube, like they finally transferred to YouTube, and even some of their YouTube, they block comments because people will question them, and they do not like to be questioned. That's the big thing with them. It's a power trip. At least I leave it open for people that question me, although sometimes I get really stupid people like that guy that fucking went off on conspiracy theories and fucking chemtrails and shit, and I had to block his ass. Or they threaten to kill me. That's always the best. I love it when they threaten to kill me. Can't wait for them to fucking come by the house and see my shotgun that's by the door. I'll fucking blow a hole in them. But yeah, so yeah. Anyways, Beastie's a fucking kook. When you meet him in person, you realize really quick that dude is not a snowboarder at all. Has no clue what the fuck he's doing. He just wants to get drunk and be fat and lazy. That's it. Let's see. David, greetings from Scotland. Thanks for the gear advice. $750 became New Mutiny. Oh, you're the guy that asked that in the last podcast. If he had $750 to spend, $750 became new DC Mutiny boots. Awesome. Solomon pulse board with bent metal bindings and a 7-day lift pass. Fuck yeah, you turned $750 into a setup and 7 days of riding. That's awesome, man. Get out and fucking shred. So just so anyone doesn't understand what a frame of reference, we just did the audio podcast. The video segment will come in from the 20 questions podcast. But David had asked us if we had $750 to spend on board, boot, and binding, how we would break it down. And basically we said, put all the money into the boots and then from there figure it out, you know. And so he's just following up, letting us know. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. Kurt Trotch, nice, thanks, Avern. I have a deal on the 2018 Beast 158 for all mount 161, 165, 250 waist width. Is it too narrow for my 9.5 boots? Like to carve hard as well? No, because you're going with a longer surface area than what I would put on a Beast for you for your weight. That 9.5, even with that 25 waist, like people get hung up on the waist, and companies need to literally they need to be putting the width at the center of the inserts, or at least at reference stance, because you have to realize, like, between your waist and the tip or the tail, like, it tapers in. So it's obviously narrower at the waist. The waist width thing is kind of bullshit in a skier thing, because skiers need to know how wide it is at the waist for their boots. We don't, because we're at the insert pack. So Nidecker and Marhar are starting, and I think a few other companies are going to jump on it, but we'll start seeing width at the insert. So that's the big thing. Roughly what I do is I tell people, take the tip width, subtract that from the waist width, take that number, divide it by 2, then add it back to the waist width, and roughly, not accounting for the side cut radius, that's what the width is under, or like right where the inserts are. So yeah. Slay J from Idaho, I agree. How would you go about lobbying small local resort to open on Sundays and drop the leash rule? They're not open on a Sunday? What the fuck shenanigans is that? Like, that is prime make your money day. Like, that is some fucking religious chicanery there. Like, what the fuck? And drop the leash rule? Just point out that you got 2 leashes on your front foot. You got a toe leash and a heel leash. In the event that your binding becomes detached from your board, the leash is attached to the binding. The board's going down anyways. So, yeah. Adrian Ellis, Avern, thanks for the Black Friday live stream. How stiff is the jackpot? Looking at the 56 wide for park, respect. Mr. E from Canada. It's a middle of the road park board. It's not like crazy stiff at all. I mean, they stiffened it up from the previous year, but it's like not, because when it used to be like the flat to rock because they added camber, but it's really not that much stiffer. I mean, it's, if you watch the review of that board, which, I mean, like there's 300 and something reviews on this channel. You can go to the snowboard reviews playlist, or you can go to the Yes reviews playlist and check it out. Go check out that review. That'll give you a little bit more in-depth look at what I feel about that board. But that board is phenomenal. It's playful in the tips, and then you hit that, like the camber kick into it going into the center, and it just starts to stiffen up through to the middle. So yeah, it's not really that crazy stiff. Shardbot, I'm coming off a used 2007 Capita Stairmaster. Will any board feel better because of tech and the crooks? Any board will feel better because it's brand new. And it'll feel a lot better. It'll ride a lot better too, especially if you get the correct sizing. Like, I'm assuming you got one that's way small. So if you go up, it's just gonna be more size appropriate. You're gonna have more drive, power, everything like that. Plus, the fiberglass hasn't started to break down or anything, so it's going to be way more responsive. Patrick AO. Is the 2020 Capita Mercury a great choice for all mountain, all conditions? Thinking about LibTech boards in their lineup as well. Any other boards I should consider for all mountains? So Capita Mercury is my number one choice, always will be. But if you're looking at like LibTech, got to think about this for a minute, but there's the Rider's Choice, which might be a little bit stiffer than you'd like, but you got the asymmetrical in there. You could do the Travis Rice Pro, like the 57.5, because when you go up to the pointy tip one, it changes. So the 57.5 and the 53 are a little more all mountain and freestyle, and the 61.5 is all mountain free ride. You could do the T-Raz, which is the 57.5. What else is out there? If you wanted something different, a little bit softer, but the GNU anti-gravity as well would be one. The other thing I would throw out, if you're looking at libs, you probably are doing it because it's got magnet traction. Check out the Jones flagship, or not the flagship, Mountain Twin, Jones Mountain Twin. Let's see. Frank 0020 with a $2 super chat emoji. That thing is fucking freaky. Lucas Sutton, hey Averin, have you looked into YouTube's new policy changes around COPPA that start January? Good thing you have a website, man. YouTube might die. COPPA's not going to affect me in the slightest because like it's clearly, I'm not catering towards children. I don't care to cater towards children. There's no reviews of any children's gear. I'm not worried about COPPA. They're still taking open inquiries from the public on it. And so just so people understand, COPPA is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. It's basically a way to not target ads towards children, which is pretty much similar to how the 90s cartoons changed from being glorified commercials in the 80s for toys to actually having to have storylines and not direct them towards toys. And they had to have educational shit in there too as well. So it's that COPPA shouldn't affect me at all, but YouTube isn't even like a big revenue maker for me. Like I could lose it and be totally fine and it wouldn't even affect me. I just like utilizing the platform because of everything that comes with it. So worst comes to worst, I switch back to Vimeo and deal with their bullshit over there, or I start streaming on Twitch and Amazon. So here's the big thing. So Amazon actually owns something called Amazon Tube, and it was supposed to launch almost 2 years ago, and my friend was working on it and he told me about it. But the way when it launches, because it will launch unless they've officially killed it, but he was working on it last I knew. But Amazon Tube, if that rolls out, it will be the YouTube of Amazon. But the way it would work is as I talk about a product, it would show up next to it, and I'd get like a 20% commission if you bought it through there. Plus, it would have all the live streaming capabilities of Twitch, which has a huge online community, so that could open up more doors. I'm honestly not worried about COPPA, so yeah. Let's see what else we got going on here. Grant Christopher, what's the best solution for mooning your friends when you bend over to strap in? I feel like my pants fit well, but it still happens. Bib, ninja suit, long mid layer, pants that fit. Ninja suit, you could do that. Bibs, I mean, they're all suitable. Either that or just get that tramp stamp that says, hey, boys, look at this. You know? As long as you don't get the one with the arrow to the crack that says 2 at a time only. Unless that's your thing. You're down with DP. But yeah. Should make it funny. Maybe just put a smiley face and make the crack the nose or something. Bored through the pain. How do you feel about the Kemper reboot? Nostalgia's hot right now, and people will buy it. I rode the Freestyle 89 or 88 or whatever it was. I mean, a lot of camber in that board. Stiffer than I thought it was going to be. Great for half pipe, but I don't know if anyone's noticed in the last few weeks, they've been sucking up various former Sims riders and putting them on there. The longevity of Kemper, I really question if it will be here in 2 years, because what are they going to do when they run out of the vintage graphics? It's like, you just bought a dead trademark and then you relaunched it. And the big thing that I think is carrying it is the Dig My Quiver crowd is all about it, and they're buying those collab boards and stuff. But yeah. Let's see what else we got going on. Let's see. Let's see what we got going on here. EMTB days. I went out and bought a Yes Standard 2020 before the top 5 came out. Your review of the previous year seemed good. What were the reasons the Standard didn't make those? Did you see everything on that list? Those are like the fucking cream of the crop. Fuck. There are so many banger-ass boards on that. Dude, you know how hard it was to whittle that thing down? There was literally 30 boards I could have put in that thing. Fuck. Dude, companies are getting so much better with making great shit. It's harder and harder to find a turd of a snowboard. I try. It's hard. And then when I do find one, the company gets butthurt and tells me they're never sending me anything again, and then a year later they send me everything. Standard's a solid board. You bought it. Go out and fucking rip it. Don't worry about what I have to say. Casey Rowland, how does the Slush Slasher compare to a full-on powder board? So you got a little bit less tail on it than you would with if you went with, say, something like an Endeavor Archetype or a designated POW board. It's great at low-angle POW and tree riding, but if you get into steeper stuff, and especially you're coming down and then suddenly you hit something that's like a wind-blown lip or anything like that, or like a peak or whatnot, you notice that you suddenly lose a little bit of edge hold. You don't have the surface area to hold you. It's also a little bit softer for the party boarding. That's kind of the big ones with that one. Let's see. Ooh, what's going on? Let's see. Is there anything else? Check Van, sick that you're doing Girls List, Averin. How are you going about getting a chick to do reviews on the gear? We're working on it. I'm working on something to raise more funding to bring on a full-time staff. You'll see something coming out when I finally catch up. I'm taking the 18th to the 28th off of next month, and I'm going to probably work on it while I'm back in the old country visiting my family and seeing some friends and shit. But for right now, I'll say it again. I said it at the start of the live stream. The way we've been coming up with the top 5s is what's been selling in a few local shops around here, because we're a central hub. I mean, Breckenridge is the second most visited ski resort in North America compared to Vail, and they fudged the numbers just to make Vail look better. Breckenridge is really number one. I mean, when you have any given weekend 50 to 75,000 people in town, come on. But so the way we do it is see what's selling at a few local shops. I talk to a few different shop girls, talk to my reps, see what they're moving in various areas of the territory, as well as go to demos and see what girls are taking what out when I walk around. Like I'm always just constantly seeing what's going on there. And then it's personal experience with riding the male counterpart as well and being like, well, okay, this is how this should ride for someone lighter weight. And so that's how we've been coming up with the top fives. I know a few people have been asking about that. So yeah. Shardba, what's your playlist like up to On the Mountain? Depends where I'm riding. If I'm riding Copper, it's synthwave all day. Mitch Murder Radio on Pandora. I've spent the last 3 years solidifying that, so it's a lot of Wave Shaper, Time Cop 1983, Mitch Murder, Kavinsky, Dance with the Dead, stuff like that. You know, just very synthy stuff. John Carpenter inspired, Alan Hallworth, stuff like that. If I'm riding a basin where I don't have cell service, so I can't run Pandora, we're talking Judas Priest, Motley Crue, Iron Maiden, you know, just fucking raging face melting guitar solos, hammering drum beats, stuff like that, Slayer, things like that. So it kind of depends where I ride or the mood that I'm in. Let's see. Lucas Sutton, thoughts on the Weston Japan? We actually have a review of that in the Snowboard Reviews playlist. That board is absolutely phenomenal. It is such a well-balanced and well-built swallowtail. Like that tail really throws snow up. It sinks well. You got that good float out in the nose, and you can really just lay a surf turn. But when you get on a groomer, it'll lay a carve. And the other thing is, like, because it's wider and bigger, it rips in trees. Like, and I'm not talking like steep, spaced out trees. I'm talking flat, tight trees. Like that thing fucking turns. Let's see. Chuck Van, did I miss an Uncle Averin story? No, Uncle Averin stories will be at 9 p.m. tonight in the late night live stream. Till then, it's gear advice, stuff like that, and anecdotes. Also, there will be the 3:30 p.m. live stream today. Might be a little late to that. Going to have Thanksgiving with the neighbors. So, yeah. Oh God, that isn't an Israeli name or Palestinian or something. That I don't even know how to pronounce that. I don't even know what that is. But how do you compare the Rome agent to the Rome buckshot? So just so everyone knows, in 2021, the buckshot will disappear from Rome and the agent will replace it. Essentially, they are almost exactly one and the same. If anything, I'd say that the agent is just a little bit stiffer. Not much, just a little bit stiffer, which makes it more stable, and it has a little bit more pop. That's about it. New Renaissance, you're just checking out chicks on the slope. Checking out dudes, man. See the butt on that? He must work out. Now, let's see. Michael Kulik, Averin, worked out anything with getting on some Karua boards? Looking forward to an actual educator review. Hit them up, or else I'm going to have to drive down to Evo in Denver, which Denver sucks. And their location is like downtown Denver, which sucks even more because that means I have to drive in the city. Then I have to park where peasants can touch my car. I don't like that. I don't like fucking random homeless people touching my car. Yeah. So we're going to see. One of you guys reached out to me and said that they might have one that I could ride, so we'll see. Let's see. New Renaissance. Are Santa Cruz snowboards turds? I haven't been on one, but I really don't hold them in high regard from looking at them. I mean, I feel like they're just sort of there, and they're doing their thing, but it's not a... Let's put it this way. There's brands that I will reach out to get their boards, and then there's brands that I look at and go, yeah, I don't really give a fuck. That's an I don't give a fuck brand. Let's see. Let's see. Am I missing anything? I feel like I'm nailing it. Yeah, I think I got everything. Ooh. Chris Kokolis, favorite type of boarding. Have a nice season. Well, thanks for the super chat, Chris. I love POW, and my favorite thing is last year I got a lot of days like this, was showing up not crazy early to copper, like getting there about 10 in the morning on a POW day, which means you're not getting first chair, which is fine. But I'd get there right before the highway would start blasting and an avalanche would fall. Mountains closed. All the homies are there. We're party boarding and POW. So, socked in a snowstorm, ripping trees, riding gullies like bank slalom courses, going through the park and just having powder park days, like you're sliding rails and there's snow on top of it and shit, and you're hitting the jumps and just hipping into the sides and whatnot. Those are the best days. Just riding with friends, not giving a fuck about anything, and then going to get tacos afterwards. Frank 0020. Oh man, they need to make yoga snowboard pants for. They do. Like, as close to it as you can get. You look at any of the stretch denim pants, like from L1 or shit, women wear those things tight. You can see their butt. Like, there you go, bud. Let's see what else is going on. Teddy in Japan. Casa Bonita. Oh, God. Don't ever go to Casa Bonita. You never eat the food at Casa Bonita. You go for the show. You don't eat the food. Food is garbage. Oh, man. Jose Bautista. Yes boards versus Jones boards, especially for all mountain tree runs. You know who's actually going to win that is Yes, in my opinion. Between the Y and the hybrid, those two beat anything Jones has. Even though the Mind Expander is good in trees, I'd rather ride a Y or a hybrid. They're just more nimble, in my opinion. They're easier to throw around, especially that Y. And then if you get into like some crusty frozen shit, I feel like you actually have better edge hold due to the camber profile and the side cut on the Y versus the Mind Expander. The Mind Expander gets so much rocker in the nose. It's that. Plus, you don't want to ride a Storm Chaser in the trees. It's just too wide and sluggish. Hovercraft is okay, but Mind Expander is a little bit better. Yeah, let's see what else we got going. Eric Kim, what's your thoughts on MIPS and helmet? Is it worth paying the extra 30 to 40? Actually, if you listen to the new podcast, the audio one on Podbean that Kevin and I just put out, we took a question from one of you guys because it's the 20 Questions podcast and answered a lot of stuff about MIPS helmets and stuff. I think it is the right direction for the progression of wear helmet safety because we're still using EPS foam from 30 years ago, which MIPS makes a little more sense, but they fit different and they don't fit all head shapes. Like that new spherical MIPS shaping does not fit my head. I've got a weird divot in it and it just sits weird in there. So much like boots, the best helmet's the one that fits your head and keeps you safe. Some people it's MIPS and some people it's not. Let's see. Let's see. O3 Builder, is that a super DOA in the background? That is a super DOA in the background. The review will probably drop next week. If you are a member of Angry Snowboarder VIP, that review is going up at 8 a.m. tomorrow on there. They get the written review early. So, yeah. Let's see what else is going on. I think we're kind of catching up on questions here. Oh, let's see. Stefan Aki, I see. Is it true that Nidecker bought Rome Snowboards? Yes, Nidecker bought them. So the Nidecker brothers bought them. So Nidecker now owns Nidecker, Flow, Yes, Jones, Now, Rome, Battalion, Lobster, Switchback. It's all part of one giant parent group. They are letting the companies, some stuff runs independent, like the design, the marketing is independent of a lot of the brands. Distribution and whatnot is all streamlined into one area coming out of Seattle. So there's that. But the boards are all being built in the same factory, which means that their pricing goes down at the factory level and buying raw material pricing goes down because it's not being made at like multiple factories. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? I think putting all your eggs in one basket could be a bad thing, especially if something catastrophic were to happen to the factory. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Any more question? Chris Kokolis, have you considered making more videos on the mountain? Not asking in a bad way, just curious. No, I get where you're coming from, and like I get this one all the time. Here's the thing: it's a time constraint issue. Like, if I were to go out and have to film, I do not like riding with a GoPro in my hand on a stick. Like it throws off my balance with how I ride, and I'm already like screwed up because the right side of my body is missing a bunch of stuff. So I don't have a spleen. My right kidney, we're pretty sure, is dead and has shrunk up. I don't want to pay for the MRI to find out because the doctor's like, well, you got like I have a hole in my side, like shit sloshes around. So like when balancing wise, it throws things off. Plus knee injuries and whatnot. I use my hands to balance a lot of stuff, which is a lot of people say isn't good, but it's just how I ride, and my back is super stiff. So it really throws things off for me to do it. If I could find someone to follow me, it would, but then I got to pay someone to literally follow me to film me, and I don't really think that's too fair. Like we've kind of got a good format going here with it, but the goal is to like build. It's all a progression to the next level and stuff. Like maybe if I can hit the next tier of financing, that would change everything. But right now it's how do we continue what we're doing to build what we're doing, to fund what we're doing, to get to the next level. And if we did hit that, we would. But believe me, I would love to do that. But as I've said earlier in this live stream, the goal is to put out a few riding videos with me and my boy Bruce, and I've got some other projects coming down that like aren't board reviews, but it's like something else to show people other things. If I'm going to do a test run of it when I'm back in the old country next month, I'm going to go hit some resorts and work out some, fine tune a few things and see what I can come up with. But the big thing is fucking holding like a gimbal and a GoPro. Like that shit is, unless I'm follow camming someone into a park jump or something, I really don't like doing it. And the other thing is dealing with cameras in the cold. Colorado is some of the most inclement weather you could deal with, and it's colder than most, and it's a dry cold. So like it kills batteries like all the time. And the other thing is I don't want to turn into one of those, follow me on my daily vlog, and today we went and rode with Tommy T and we were doing 270s on a butter box, and look at me, everything's awesome, and this guy gave me a high five, and oh, this is fucking great, and follow me on my journey for my epic fucking blah blah blah, I suck dicks with my butthole. Vlogging has no future. It's a consistent grind to keep going at a consistent level, unfortunately. So I don't want to get to that level. And I ride alone so much just because the way my friends' schedules are and everything, that it probably will never happen the way we want until we hit the funding that we need. I'm going to take 3 more questions and get out of here. I got a bunch of stuff to get ready for the 3:30 live stream, and I got to do some other stuff. So if you got some questions, plop them down. We're going to get going. Okay, so Jonathan from Israel asks, hey, that's me again, the Israeli guy. Sorry about the language. My name is Jonathan. So I'm wondering if the agent will be harder or easier to press and butter because the shape is different. It's no different to press and butter into. You still got the camber, the fusion camber. So the sweet spot is in there. It's just a little bit stiffer. And I feel like the rod in the tip and the tail that they use for pop, I feel like it's longer. I need to go look and measure a buckshot and measure the actual rod and see, but I feel like it's actually longer a little bit. So the sweet spot is smaller. But if you're a competent rider that knows how to ride camber and how to balance your weight on the tip and the tail, you'll figure it out. I mean, it took me about 3 laps to figure out that I was like, oh, okay, this thing, you just have to get your weight a little bit more out. So let's see. Let's see. Ian the Welshman, did I miss the time for the merch drop? No, it's going to come sometime this afternoon, probably closer to the 3:30 live stream. I still have to shoot the photos for it and get them uploaded on the store, write the descriptions, Double check the inventory and stuff, but that should go up for the 3:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time live stream. Ole Vanham, can you think of some boards good for carving in the frames of 159 to 164 length, 26 or 27 waist width, side cuts? Oh, Jesus, camber dominant. Yes, mostly camber dominant. I think. So you want to go look at the Snowfisk Beluga or the Puckerfisk. I think there's one more in there, and I can't think of it, but check out Snowfisk snowboards. Also, I think Winterstick has one either in the Party Wave or the Seth Westcott Pro. The Ride Commissioner Wide, I think, is like a 26.8. I think, somewhere around there. Stranded Shorty is a 26 weight. I think it's a 26. It might be a 25.7, but the Stranded Shorty as well, camber dominant. Nidecker. There's the Concept, which is a carving board. Also, there's the Battalion Carver. And I'm trying to think what else is out there. Kind of brain farting because it's such a specific size run, but I think those would be the way to look at it. Let's see. Michael Kulik, mystery boxes anytime between now and Christmas? No. Let's see. What else? Let me go for one more question. 03 Builder, best Colorado resort without the holiday crowds. Want the trip, don't want the 2-hour lift line. Okay, so pretty much the 2-hour lift lines is Keystone, Breckenridge, sometimes Copper, but that's like hit or miss on that. Vail, Beaver Creek. It's like that central hub off I-70. The further out you go, the less crowds you're going to have. So if you go Telluride, Crested Butte, the lift lines will be less. Any of the Aspen Mountains. Steamboat, you might run into some lines early in the morning. Like the gondola line will look heinous to you when you get there, but it's the way that they do everything to get on the gondola. That thing just constantly moves. It does not stop. Like if you fall, you're fucking around, they will pick you up and throw you onto the gondola to get that thing going. Once you get up there, don't go to the right when you get off the gondola at Steamboat. Go to the left. You want to go up Pony, Thunderhead, stuff like that. Stay to that side first thing in the morning. Then go check out the other side. But that'll dissipate. But basically, just avoid anything in Summit County or Eagle County, and you'll be fine. Yeah, so. All right. Shane Sheeling. Hey, thanks for answering my Patreon questions so quick this morning on whether to hit Copper or Eldora next weekend. Not a contest guy. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for the super chat, bud. Yeah, so we're going to close out this live stream. I'll see you guys at 3:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We're going to answer more gear questions during that one. Hopefully, I'll have the Black Friday product drop going on for you guys then. Like I said, we got those Coaches jackets, these hoodies, and a bunch of stickers and stuff. It's a very small, limited product drop compared to the last time when I did like a monster, not the mystery box, but the one before that, the monster product drop. Because I ended up eating it on those. I didn't make as much profit. So, yeah, there's 12 Coaches jackets and like 22 sweatshirts. But, yeah, hopefully catch you guys at 3:30 p.m.